Hey everybody, Brandon here from CAD Intentions, and in today's video we're talking about the differences between blocks and groups in AutoCAD. They may look the same and act similar, but using the wrong one can make your drawings a cluttered mess and leave you with a headache if you don't pick correctly. So let's take a look at when to use each one, as well as some best practices and tips when using either or. Let's jump right into today's video. To begin with, let's take a look at blocks in AutoCAD drawings. Blocks are reusable sets of objects that can be copied between drawings and reused as often as you need them. Blocks are a great way to save a ton of time as well as standardize your drawings so that everything looks consistent between projects and even over years and with different drafters and designers. Having a large and well-defined block library is a key to productivity within AutoCAD, as well as sustainability and consistency. So you can see I've got this office plan here, and I'm going to show you a few examples of blocks within AutoCAD. Blocks can have a variety of different properties and fields within them, or they could be as simple as a group of objects like this one here. You can see I've selected an object and all of these lines have selected with it, as well as a base point of which your objects can be moved around in the block that they are in. So this one point is going to move all of those objects, and you can also have custom properties like rotate and scale assigned to your blocks. We're not going to get into that in today's video, although I do have a video specifically about that and creating custom blocks, which I'll link to down below. It's also on my channel, and we touch on that in my courses. But continuing on here, if you have a block selected, you're going to be able to look at the properties and it's going to be called a block reference. You're also going to have some miscellaneous attributes down here like your rotation, the block name, as well as some other things like the scale and unit factors. Now, in AutoCAD, you can have a variety of different blocks within your drawing. You can see here by looking at the block manager here, or just by typing I and hitting enter for insert. You can insert any of the blocks within your drawing at any point into your drawing. You can also access recent blocks you've used in other drawings, or libraries or favorites you may have set up within your company of other blocks that you tend to use often. Now, this is the biggest difference between blocks and groups, and that is that blocks are going to be a more permanent and reusable object definition or object within your drawing. So these blocks are given names, base points, scales, and different attributes and customizable options. These things are a lot more involved than a group. Before we jump fully into groups and how they're helpful, if you haven't already, don't forget to check out my AutoCAD Fundamentals and Workflows course. It's packed full of tips and tricks to help you become a better drafter and AutoCAD user. Everything from drawing setup and template creation to layers, annotative text, dimensions, layouts, plotting, and more. I've packed over 15 years of tips, tricks, and workflows into this easy to understand and follow course. It's discounted for users such as yourself by using the link up above or down below in the description. I highly recommend checking it out. It's got great ratings, and it's helped a ton of new users master AutoCAD faster and easier than ever. Now, jumping over to a group within AutoCAD is simply that. You have grouped a handful of objects together, and they are movable by that single point, but they don't have any of the other attributes. They can be split up at any point, reverting back to their individual objects. So in the case of, say, a floor plan like this, you're going to want to use blocks for any object that is repeatable and consistent throughout all of your projects and drawings. Anytime you've got something that you can think in your head, oh, this is going to be useful later on, you're going to want to create a block. You can do that by typing in the block command and creating one that way. Again, I've got a whole video on that. But if you just simply want a grouping of objects temporarily, now this is especially useful when you're doing preliminary design and concepts, or you're trying out different room arrangements. of multiple blocks even, you can combine your blocks to create a group. To create a group, you simply type in group. So what we can do here is select all of these blocks that we've got here. So you can see in the properties, I've got 7 blocks and an M text. So any objects can be grouped together. You simply select your objects and then type in group. This is going to make a temporary object or group that combines all of these other objects. So this could be lines, text, annotation, blocks, pretty much anything within the AutoCAD workspace here can be grouped together, and the default vertex or base point here is going to just be the center of mass of your objects. So what I can do now that I have created my group of multiple blocks and objects, is type in CO for copy. I can select the entire group and hit enter. It's going to ask me for a base point. I'm simply going to choose the corner of my room here, and now I can quickly and easily move all of these objects around wherever I'd like. So maybe I want to copy them down to this similarly sized room over here. I can simply do that, and it's now copied the entire group. So now you've got this grouping of objects, including multiple blocks, and I've moved the entire group of them to another similarly sized room. At any point, you can simply type ungroup and then select your group, and it splits them out. So we'll be back to having just my initial grouping of blocks, objects, or text. So it's super easy to create and explode or break up blocks and groups, but there are a few use cases where you're going to want to use one or the other. So as I mentioned before, anytime you want a permanent and reusable grouping or block of objects, you're going to want to create a block out of it. But that doesn't mean you can't start with a group. Groups are great when you're doing quick work and you're not too worried about copying these objects from drawing to drawing and reusing them in multiple projects. Things like a specific room layout like this doesn't necessarily need its own block. You can simply group them together based on the different room sizes and copy those around, saving you a ton of time. Now, a few issues you can run into is, as I mentioned, groups don't necessarily copy between projects and drawings the easiest. You can also pretty easily accidentally split them up or ungroup or explode them, and then you're kind of lost and left without it because it's not saved within your drawing like a block. You can always reinsert a block that you have exploded because it doesn't remove or break up the actual definition of the block. Those are always going to be in your insert menu here unless you remove them from the drawing specifically. But if you delete or explode any individual block, you can always reinsert that block and get it back the way it was. The other easy thing or great thing about blocks is they are super easy to update in large instances. So if you've got 100 versions of this computer block here, editing one of them is going to update every single one, whereas a group is simply a group of those specific objects. Editing one is not going to affect the others, and editing any one of them is having no effect on the subsequent ones. You're simply copying that specific group of objects. Another great reason to use blocks would be if you want any of those custom abilities like rotation or scale or text attributes. Those are only possible within a block. While blocks are going to take you quite a bit more time to set up using the block editor, and making changes are a little more cumbersome and time consuming, having to go in and out of the block editor each time you want to change them. You will save time over the long run because those blocks are going to be updated regardless. So if you've got 100 or 2 versions of your block, updating them once is going to update them all. This is a great time saver. So in general, if I'm working quickly and I don't know that I want to keep this exact group, or if I'm building out objects that I'm not sure if I'm going to use again and again, I'll simply start with a group. This is great for concept and preliminary work, and then once I've finalized my designs and layouts, I'll typically convert those into blocks. Simply selecting all of the objects within my group and creating a block out of it is a great way to make that step forward to a more permanent and reusable option. Now, before we finish off today's video, I wanted to leave a few quick tips and general best practices. So you're always going to want to name your blocks with something descriptive and easy to remember. Having multiple blocks with similar names that aren't really differentiated is the first and easiest way to completely clutter up your drawing and your insert list here. If you have a ton of different objects that are named similarly, it's going to be hard to pick them out of the small text that you see when inserting blocks. I also want to remind users to really think through your blocks when you're creating them. Having multiple layers within them or extra line work that's not necessary is going to increase the clutter and slow down your general drawing speed when you work with a ton of blocks within your drawing. I also highly recommend setting up your libraries. You can have a few and they can link to specific drawings where you've got your block libraries. Having a, say, architectural block library, floor plan block library, a civil block library, or a mechanical or electrical one is going to keep your files smaller and more streamlined because you can choose between which one you want to use and pull blocks from. I've got more on that in my videos, which I'll link up above and down below as well. Another great tip, and one to use sparingly, is that the explode command is going to allow you to break up an individual block or group into its base parts. Now, you can always reinsert a block, but exploding a group or ungrouping a group is not going to be able to be fixed instantly. You're going to have to recreate that group and group it again. You can also now use the blockify command in the newer versions of AutoCAD, and this is going to help you by converting repeated geometry into blocks automatically using some of the machine learning built into the software. I'll make a video about that in the future because it is really helpful, but in the meantime, I highly recommend trying it out and let me know what you think about it. That's all for today's video. I hope you guys learned something about blocks and groups and the difference between them. Let me know in the comments which one you use the most and why. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Cheers.